Welcome back to the channel. Umeed ka Safar. Today's journey is about a man whose life was fading like an unfinished canvas, but in his last moments, he painted a masterpiece that didn't just stay on the wall. It came alive in the form of hope for a young, lost girl. This is the story of Fahim, a once renowned artist, and Zoya, a homeless child who had forgotten how to dream. Fahim used to be the pride of the city's art galleries. His paintings weren't just colors on canvas, they were feelings. He had a gift for turning silence into imagery, and pain into beauty. But with time, life took more from him than it gave. A rare illness made him weak. His hands trembled, his eyes lost clarity, and doctors told him he had only a few months left. He didn't fight the news. He simply returned to his small, quiet home in an older part of the city where he once painted in solitude. But this time, the silence felt heavier than before. In those lonely days, he pulled out one final canvas, determined to leave behind something that truly meant something. Not a commission, not a gallery piece, but a farewell to the world, and a letter in color that only those who looked closely would understand. It was to be his final painting. Each brushstroke came slowly, painfully. But his heart poured itself onto the canvas. Every color he used had a memory behind it, and every figure he shaped was a reflection of something he'd once loved, or lost. Meanwhile, in the alley just behind Fahim's home, a 12-year-old girl named Zoya had made a makeshift bed of cardboard and plastic sheets. She had no parents, no belongings, and no past she wanted to talk about. People walked past her every day, some dropped coins, most avoided eye contact. She had hardened herself against kindness, because every time she'd let someone in, they'd disappeared. She stole food when she had to, begged when she had no choice, and survived each night like it was a battle. One rainy evening, Zoya saw light coming from Fahim's window, soft and golden. She peeked inside and saw him painting. Curious and cold, she waited outside longer than usual. When Fahim opened his door to take out the trash, he noticed her. Their eyes met, his, tired and gentle, hers, sharp but unsure. He didn't ask her anything. He simply said, "If you're hungry, there's warm bread on the stove." She followed him inside, slowly, like a cat testing a stranger. That night started something small but unforgettable. Zoya began visiting every evening, not out of pity, but curiosity. Fahim didn't lecture her. He let her sit in silence while he painted. Over days, she started asking questions: why this color? Why that figure? What does this part mean? Fahim answered with stories, not instructions. Slowly, Zoya started sketching too, using broken pencils and scraps of paper. Fahim never corrected her. He simply smiled and said, "Feel, then draw." Days turned into weeks. Zoya, who once had no reason to wake up, began looking forward to evenings. She helped around the house, made tea, read from Fahim's old art books. In her, Fahim saw the spark he thought he had lost. In him, Zoya saw a father she never had. But Fahim's health was worsening. He coughed more, painted slower, and sometimes forgot what he was saying mid-sentence. Yet every day, he worked on the painting. One morning, he didn't wake up. Zoya found him slumped on the chair, a paintbrush still between his fingers. The canvas wasn't finished, but in her eyes, it was perfect. It showed a small girl sitting under a tree, painting the sky with her hands, while a man stood behind her, smiling, not interfering, just watching her become something more. Zoya knew, it was her. And that was Fahim's gift. After his funeral, quiet and attended only by a few, Zoya took the painting and started something new. With the little money Fahim had left, and help from a local volunteer Fahim once taught, she turned his home into a small art corner for street kids. She taught them what Fahim taught her, not technique, but belief. She called it, Rang-e-Zindagi, Colors of Life. And on the wall of the studio, Fahim's final painting hangs, untouched, unfaded. Years later, people would talk about the girl who rose from the streets and became a mentor to hundreds. They would ask her what inspired her, how she found meaning in a world so cruel. And Zoya would always say, "An old man once showed me that sometimes, the final thing we create becomes someone else's beginning." So if you're listening today, and you're feeling lost, broken, or unseen, remember Fahim's story. Even when life is slipping away, you can still give someone else a reason to live. And if you're like Zoya, and the world has shut its doors on you, look for that one window of light. It may just change your life. Thank you for staying with us on this journey of silent healing, forgotten talent, and unexpected love. If this story touched your heart, share it. Let the memory of Fahim and the courage of Zoya inspire others. This is Umeed Ka Safar, where every broken heart can still become a masterpiece. See you in the next story.